Wake up, Pancreas. I'm Danny,
And I'm Alex.
and welcome to episode 15 of Wake Up, Pancreas.
So today we're going to go into sports. And our kids have obviously started summer sports, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about baseball, right? Baseball was this Saturday. It was amazing. Alex was up there doing his thing, right? And one of the most memorable moments for me was when he hit it to the left side, right? Out in the outfield. And he's up there on the plate, right? And it's the coach is pitching. So the coach is gently, not gently, but he's trying to make sure that Alex hits the ball. So he throws the ball at him, Alex gets one strike. All right, he throws it again, Alex gets another strike. And I'm like, oh, come on, buddy, you got this. So at the third one, he finally, on the fourth one?
On the fourth one. So
Oh.
because it's coach pitch, they get
That's
4. I didn't realize that. So when I
okay.
saw the third one, I was like, oh, he striked that there. You get one more. But I was like, oh, he gets one more.
Oh, okay. So that makes more sense because I'm like, okay, maybe I missed one. Or maybe he tipped the other one and that's why they kept going. So on the fourth one, because it's coach pitch and everybody plays, he finally hit it, right? He hit it and it went all the way to the left field out there, right? The kids were scrambling to get the ball and Alex threw the bat and basically took off running, right? After that, he hit first base. We got to remember before that, there was another kid that's a little bit slower than Alex. Well, way slower.
Let's be honest. He's morbidly obese for his age.
Okay, so he's a little bit way bigger than Alex, and he's you know what? Give it credit to him. He's trying to go out in sports.
He's out there. He's trying to be healthy. He's trying to move.
Yes,
and he's
he
a
is.
great batter.
He is a great batter, but man, Alex came out to first, right, and the kid was trying to move, and Alex basically lapped him. He lapped him, passed him, and it just kept going, basically causing a double play because Alex cannot pass. In baseball, you cannot pass the other guy. Oh man.
Yeah, and then right after he passed, all the coaches were like, no, go back, go back. And we're
Oh,
screaming, go
yes.
back. And Alex like, okay, I'm just going home. And the other kid just stopped and looked around. He's like, okay, I guess I'll walk to the home
There was this
base.
huge confusion because the third base coach is telling go home, go home, go home. But the coaches on first base is telling Alex to slow down, go back, go back, go back. So Alex is only looking forward and he's just going, go home, go home, go home. While the other kid is looking back. He's like, all right, I'll go back, I'll go back, I'll go back.
When I asked Alex afterwards, I kind of told him, I was like, do you know you can't pass anyone? I was like, you did great. I was like, but in the future, I said, you got to stay behind him. He's like, but Mom, he just stopped. Like, he didn't even go. He just stopped. He's like, so I had to go home. I was like, yeah, but it didn't count because he has to go first.
So it was a forced out because of it. So that was exciting.
Yeah.
Marcel's game was a little bit slower, but she's in a smaller group, right? Her bracket. Oh my God, that was...
She's in T-ball.
Yes, it's T-ball.
And oh man, it was brutal. Alex got to watch Alex's game,
Yeah,
and I was
Junior
with
just
Marcel.
playing over.
And I was like, let me know when he's up. And I'm like trying to look at his game from the corner of my eye, but I'm trying to support Marcel at the same time. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, what is happening? Like, the coach is out there with an energy drink in his hand, like one hand, he's trying to do the bat with the
Didn't
other
we think
hand.
it was beer at
and I
one
was
point?
like, that should probably be beer at this point because it is like hurting cats. And then like this kid just started crying and ran off the field, and Marcel's just standing out there like,
Spacey now.
like no idea what's going on. But you
Oh,
know
my
what?
Lord.
She is patient,
Oh,
and she's the
Lord.
only girl on her team, so she just stood there
Oh, dear.
the whole time. And then it's her turn to bat. So then we're all up there cheering for her. She bats, and then she just stands
Oh,
there.
didn't we gotta give her sugar?
Nope, we didn't. Her sugar was fine throughout it, probably because she just stood there.
She just stood there.
But she did skip to the bases
Yeah, she
instead
did
of
skip.
running.
She hit the ball and then as she's running, she started skipping to first base.
So she would, I would say sprint, but it's
Yeah.
probably more of like a run jog for her.
Yeah.
And she gets halfway there, probably like 10 feet off the base
Yeah.
every single time. And then she's like, skip, 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 like a skip step, trying to get back in step like
She's
the military.
She's trying to slow herself down because she's going way too fast.
And then she's like little twinkle toes, like running on her toes, like do to finish it off. I'm like, don't skip, you gotta run, and then she skips anyway.
Oh man. Going back to Alex, I gotta say his game is way more exciting, obviously. But at the same time, I think it's the coach's first time being out there, right? And I hear him over talking, and at one point, because you gotta imagine this field's huge. They got 4 baseball stadiums, right? Basically all connected to each other, and it's almost forming like a cross where the parents can sit and so on. And the way in is through the parking lot. So you see a lot of teams wearing the same uniform. And at one point, though, they saw someone with a red shirt just walking off and getting in the car. And I remember the coach go, "Oh my God, I just lost a kid." It's like, on my first day, I just lost a kid. I don't know where he went. I don't even know his name.
I think today we figured it out though. So for a while I was like, how many coaches does he have? Those are parents right there, but I think this is a coach. And then today I realized, I was like, none of them are parents. There's 4 soldiers and they're all volunteer coaching.
Yeah.
Probably to get points because you can get an award, but more power to them. And I think they come from the same unit. So they just like carpool together and they all get out. And I'm just guaranteeing that at the end of the day or after the games, they get together, they like have a drink, they're like, what the hell? Like, I never want to have kids.
No,
or we won! Yeah! Like, all proud of themselves probably because they are young. One of them's a private.
Really? I
Yeah,
didn't
because
know
they
that.
all came in uniform today.
Okay.
Because they probably got out late, so that's why they carpooled over.
Let's say their age is around like early 20s, right?
Early
let's say
20s,
early
definitely.
20s whatsoever. So this is definitely birth control for them 100%.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, because I tell you, at one point, Alex was kicking dirt out there, and his favorite line is, "The dirt's so soft, Dad."
Just so soft the kid, stop touching it. On Marcel's field today, I saw this kid, and he's like playing in the sand, and his dad's like, focus, focus. He stands up, he takes his sandy hand, and he just straight licks
yeah, I
it, like
remember
palm to fingertips. I'm like, did this kid just eat sand?
He totally just ate the
happening out
dirt. I
there?
remember, because I said, "Yeah, it's good for his immune system." That's gonna be a tough kid right
Oh
there.
my goodness.
Oh dear Lord. Let's go. Going back to Marcel's diabetes, right? And now it's beeping at us as we're talking. So I say that she did pretty good. She's doing so far. So she does swimming started already, right?
Okay.
And Danny always enjoys asking me questions how swimming went, and I tell them they did great. You know, they're swimming, so they're doing amazing. They're not drowning, so I got nothing bad to report about that. So they're obviously floating, right? They're treading water, and they're working on their skills. So they're swimming.
So
right?
they're swimming.
Yeah.
Well, and then I'm like, well, what type of swimming is it? Like breaststroke swimming, or is it like front cross freestyle swimming?
So they're
and he's like, they're
breaststroke.
swimming.
Well, they're swimming.
Just keep swimming. Just keep
Pretty
swimming.
much. So they're practicing their breaststroke right now, and it looks like they're not doing the frog. I can tell you that much. So they're not kicking their legs outwards. Like a
Okay,
frog.
so
they're
they don't have the legs in
no,
it
not
yet.
yet. So they're just doing basic kicking and then doing the breaststroke.
Mm-hmm.
So they're getting used to that. They're doing really good. Alex is just playing. I can tell you straight off the back, he just enjoys the water, and all he wants to do is uppercut the water. At one point, I saw him shadow box the water. Like I think he's the only boy in his section, and you can just see him smiling and punching the water. And I'm like, "What are you doing? What are you training for? Are you training for a fight? I don't know." And he just looks at me, gives me a thumbs up, right, with a giant smile, and keeps punching the water. Oh man.
So I absolutely enjoy watching Marcel swim, and I haven't seen Alex swim in a while because he wasn't in lessons because there was too much long of a wait list. But Marcel was lucky over the spring, and now that they're swimming, it's summer. I'm at work, so I don't actually get to see them. I got to see them the first day, and Alex was like, I don't know about this. I just want to play. And Marcel's like, I got this, new coach. Watch me. I got this. So I really am excited to see where they're going with their swimming, but I don't get to see them often. So when I come home from work, I'm like, how was swimming? What are they doing? Like, super excited. And he's like, they're swimming. I was like, okay, what type of swimming? They're swimming.
No, but see, the question is, how are they doing? And I respond with a simple answer, which is great. They're doing great. Right? The question was not what type of stroke they're doing, but are they floating on their backs? Are they doing some crazy technique you've never seen before? That's not the question, though. The question's always been like, hey, how are they doing? And I respond with, they're swimming. They're doing great. So going to, let's say, how we approach Marcel's diabetes in the sense of sports, right? This new Dexcom is kind of, we haven't had some crazy errors. Nothing crazy has happened, right, so far. Maybe it's gone off where we get the false reads and so on. And we just check her blood, right? And we talk about all the time that if we don't have her Dexcom, and this happens to us a couple of times, we just check her blood and then feed her sugar as we go. We did meet someone today with type 1, not today, but a couple of days ago with type 1 diabetes. And they told us their story about how crazy it is prolonged, like highs, right? how they basically puked and basically ended up in the emergency room. And this was a full-grown adult.
Yeah. So one of the parents on Marcel's team is a type 1 diabetic. And I saw her pod and I was like, babe, I'm going to call her out on it. And he's like, I'm going to go check on Alex.
First of all, you didn't say, I'm going to call her out. You said,
knew I was going to call her out.
yeah,
on
but
it.
you said literally, hey, are you going to say something? No. Why? What is wrong with you? No.
Mind you, this woman is less than 3 feet from us as I'm talking about her.
Yeah.
And then like she looks at me, I'm like, are you a type 1? And she's like, I am. I'm like, so is Marcel. So she ends up like talking to us about like what pod she's on, all the normal jazz that we talk about.
Yeah, jazz.
Normal stuff, for us type 1 people out there. And she mentioned how she has to use a specific type of needle with her, she doesn't wear the pod, so a different pump, because her catheters kept getting kinked off.
Yeah.
So now she uses some kind of steel needle. I didn't know that was a thing, that you could use a steel needle with a insertion set, because
I
the
think it has
pod
to
does
be
not
a
come with that.
flexible one. It definitely has to be a flexible one. At least that's my imagination.
I don't know.
We could Google it.
Yeah, I have no idea. We should Google it
Googleizers.
and talk about it. But she mentioned that she wasn't getting insulin for like a day or so. And then the next morning, or I think it might have been like 12 hours, maybe 20
Something
hours.
along
The
the
next
line.
day she woke up and she was throwing up, feeling absolutely horrible, like had to go to the hospital because she was in DKA already. And I was like, whoa, Marcel's had like super high sugars before and hasn't even gotten to that point. So
Correct.
it makes me wonder if as you get older, are you less, do you bounce back less likely? Like, does it take
Does your body basically take less or more time to recover? Is that what you're saying?
or does it react to high sugars faster?
I
Maybe
think
that's the better
so.
way to ask that.
Maybe so, because maybe when you're a child, you are able to bounce back. We don't know. And
Kids
we
are
talk
so resilient.
Exactly. We talk the entire time. We don't know whatsoever. We're always asking questions where we're trying to figure it out as we go. Right? We try to keep her at the stable 100, and we've been doing a pretty good job. Recently, she's been going low, right? And we're having the issue of her not eating her entire food, right? She'll eat half. And then we treat her for half, and then she'll, you know what, I'm still hungry. Okay, then we'll give her the other half, and she doesn't eat it, or she does eat it, and then she'll go low for sleep time. Sometimes we have the pressure lows, right? Which is basically when she's sleeping on it, and that pressure of her body is causing that low or that high. But
It's a
usually,
low.
But
It's a
usually it's a low, right? Okay, so it gives us a low response.
It'll say that it's like failing or that it's like in the 40s or too low to read, but you check her sugar, she's like in the hundreds.
Yeah.
And it has something to do with the compression on like the little fiber that's inside of the Dexcom. Like, I don't want to call it a catheter because nothing goes through it, but it looks like a
The
catheter.
reader,
Yeah. And because it reads the interstitial fluid between like the skin and the cells. Just go with me on this. I see your face. Just go with me because that's what it reads.
Yeah, okay.
But when your body presses on it, that fluid kind of displaces, so it can't read it as well. So it says it's low.
I concur. Yes. Oh, man.
But how we got into that conversation with that mom is that I was telling, because she was diagnosed around like 16 or 14, and she was surprised at how young Marcel was. And then I had said, like, I hope she doesn't go through that phase of rebelling, since she
Correct.
doesn't remember what it's like. And she's like, oh, well, if she does, how she feels is going to teach her never to do it again,
Yeah.
because she'll feel like absolute garbage. And that's how she got into her story.
Yeah.
And I was like, I guess that's a good way. Like, let her go to DKA one time and she'll say, okay, I'm done with this. Like, all these needles, feeling I'm going to die.
Yeah.
But then again, the nursing side, I've seen people that continuously do and just say, I don't care. So
Yeah.
but there has to be a balance.
I think there has to be a balance. There always is that balance and that scare. And as parents, obviously, we're scared, right?
Yeah.
In the sense that she's not going to care or take care of herself. I think we're trying to raise two healthy children that obviously care for what they're doing. One that plays with dirt. He hasn't licked the dirt, so that's a plus. He's not that kid over there eating all the dirt.
Positive,
That's
right
a
there.
positive right there, right? I don't think she likes baseball. I'm going to be 100%.
Oh, she absolutely doesn't. But she hasn't said that yet.
No, she doesn't tell
Last
this.
year, she's like, But this year, she's like, okay, I'll go.
She,
Like, she just follows along, but
she
doesn't say
follows.
anything.
Every once in a while, she gives me the thumb down, like I'm bored out of my mind. So,
But she's standing there very patiently.
well, yeah, she's on second base and just zoning out.
And trying to balance on the base and doing whatever she feels like doing. But at home, she would never be that calm.
No.
Ever.
But then again, when we mentioned soccer, right? she can hear it from a mile away. And like, sign
She
me up.
jumps up. She's like, sign me up for soccer, please. I'm like, okay, where did you come from? But sure, of course we're gonna sign you up for soccer. You love soccer.
Man. So we'll continue to monitor her sugar, and hopefully we'll give you more updates as
And maybe we'll be able to look up those steel catheters so that we have more of an update to talk about that.
And then we
next
gotta
time.
figure out jujitsu as well, because with everything on her, right?
We have a plan, but we can get into that on our next podcast about how we're going to get her in the jiu-jitsu and what that's
Yep.
going to look
A
like.
bunch of duct tape and gloves.
Some
just
MacGyver's coming along.
MacGyver stuff.
All right, so tune in next time. We'll talk more about it. Have a good one. Bye.